Three women trade dignity for lace and gold, insensate to infantile.
I thought handbag would give me respect. Now I am emptier than the bag itself. Adima added, I wanted to shine once, but the shine burned my whole house. Sugar's voice cracked, her proud tone finally broken. All I have left is regret. My class was never higher. I only dug a pit for myself. Dot, passing by, paused and looked at them. She said nothing, only offered a nod. Her eyes soft. Sometimes silence is heavier than words. The three women lowered their heads, ashamed yet strangely relieved. For the first time, they no longer mocked Dot in their hearts. The three women, now shadows of their former selves, began to understand the weight of their choices. Their friends and neighbors avoided them, not with anger, but with caution. For pride had taught Umu a lesson. They sat in silence, staring at what remained of their houses, their lives, and their dreams. Ifeoma whispered to Adimma, we thought the world would admire our gold and lace, but it admired nothing. It only exposed us. Adimma nodded, tears staining her face. Chugo, tall but bent in spirit, finally admitted, we wore borrowed glory, but we carried real shame inside. The village began to change. The elders, inspired by the August disgrace, implemented rules. August meetings became forums for community projects, education and reconciliation, not vanity. The Women's Fellowship encouraged dignity over display, and prizes were given for service, not for lace. Dot became a model for others. Her calm, consistent presence contrasted sharply with the falling glamour of the three friends. People began to see that wealth could be worn on the heart as much as on the body. The three attempted small acts of restitution. Adima worked at the local market, repaying debts where she could. Ifeoma returned part of her husband's land and apologized to his family. Chugo rebuilt her palm oil business, now working humbly and without pretension. Yet, the lessons were sharp. Even small acts of goodwill could not erase the viral memory of disgrace. Every neighbor remembered the fall of the Golden Debtors Association. Every whisper carried a warning. Pride is sweet for a moment, but the consequences linger. Dot continued her life, tending her farm, teaching children and helping neighbors. Her wrapper remained patched, her hands calloused, but her peace was unshakable. Children called her Auntie Dot. Women sought her advice, and even the elders smiled at her quietly. One afternoon, Chugo watched Dot walk past, serene and upright. She realized that all the lace, gold and borrowed wealth in the world could never buy what Dot carried naturally: integrity, peace and respect. Months passed. The three women's reputation slowly recovered, but not fully. They learned the hard way that public glory built on debt, deceit and vanity was fleeting. Every encounter reminded them of the August meeting, the phones, the broadcasts, the humiliation. Yet, Dot's calm example guided them. They began to see that dignity, humility and careful choices carried a far greater reward than any lace, handbag or gold necklace. Chugo, Ifeoma and Adima began helping at community events, not to impress, but to serve. They offered food, assisted in schools, and helped repair homes. Their hands grew rough, their clothes plain, but their hearts lighter. They realized that respect is not commanded. It is earned quietly. The applause they once craved faded, replaced by a humble satisfaction that cannot be measured by others. One evening, the women gathered with Dot again. This time not in shame, but in reflection. Dot spoke softly. Lace will fade, gold will tarnish, handbags will wear, but your character, your peace remains forever. A life lived chasing the applause of others is a life in chains. Ifeoma nodded, tears in her eyes. We were blind, Adima whispered. We sought to shine and forgot to live rightly. Chugo added. We wore masks, but our true faces were always seen. The August meeting returned the following year, but transformed. Women came to speak of projects, not fashion. No one flaunted wealth. No one borrowed to impress. Even the youngest girls whispered to one another, do not let pride blind you. Chugo, Ifeoma, and Adima attended humbly. They wore simple wrappers. No cameras flashed. No whispers mocked. Yet in the quiet, they felt a peace that had never known in their finest lace. Adima's husband, Chike, forgave her slowly. Ifeoma's husband accepted her apology for selling the land. Chugo rebuilt trust with her family. It was a slow, painful path, but one they now understood could not be rushed. Dot continued to guide them with words, not scolding, but wisdom. Learn from your mistakes. Let humility lead. Let your heart, not your purse, determine your worth. The village elders noted the transformation. Almost women now competed for service, wisdom, and good deeds, not appearance. Stories of the three golden debtors became cautionary tales told beside fires at night. Tales of pride, debt, and public shame, followed by lessons of humility, repentance, and diligence. The children remembered Dot. They sang songs of her patience, her integrity, her quiet strength. Her legacy outshone any gold or lace that had once glittered in the village. Chugo, Ifeoma, and Adima continued their lives with humility. They no longer sought the eyes of others. They sought peace. The land that glory built on borrowed wealth is fleeting, but integrity is eternal. They laughed sometimes, quietly, when they remembered their august downfall, but the laughter carried a lesson, not vanity. They spoke to young women about debt, pride, and the importance of peace over display. Dot's words echoed in Umu. Pride sweetens for a day, but shame peppers forever. Lace may blind the eye, but character lights the soul. Women repeated it. Men whispered it. Even travelers passing through the village carried the story elsewhere. The three friends had learned their lesson. The August meeting became a celebration of unity and service, not rivalry. The village thrived, not on wealth, but on wisdom. Years passed. Dot's old wrapper was still patched, but her heart was full. Children ran to her for guidance. Women admired her silently. Her life was a living testimony. Simplicity is strength, humility is honor, and peace is the ultimate wealth. Chugo, Ifeoma, and Adima often worked together on community projects. They had rebuilt trust slowly, with sweat, humility, and service. They understood now that what they once valued most, the attention of others, was a fleeting shadow compared to the lasting light of dignity. One afternoon, the three women sat by the stream where gossip once ran wild. They laughed softly, remembering their folly, but no bitterness remained. Adima said, "We thought we could buy admiration, but admiration costs nothing compared to respect." Ifeoma added, "And we learned that peace cannot be borrowed, sold, or flaunted." Chugo nodded. "Our glory was borrowed. Our shame was public. Our lesson, priceless." Dutch watched them, smiling gently, knowing the village had learned, through fire and tears, the enduring truths of life. The August sun rose over Umu once more, golden and forgiving. Women arrived in simple wrappers, hands busy with projects, hearts full with intention. No one competed in vanity. Everyone competed in service. Chugo, Ifeoma, and Adima walked with quiet heads and steady steps. Dot passed among them, peaceful, dignified, a living reminder that humility outlasts pride, that peace outshines gold, and that integrity is a crown no depth can take. The village had been tested. The lesson was learned. Pride may shine for a day, but humility lasts forever. Lace may blind, but character illuminates the soul. And so, Umu thrived, not on display, but on the enduring wealth of wisdom, patience, and integrity. Moral lessons. 1. Pride and vanity are fleeting. Humility and peace endure. 2. Depth for appearances leads to shame. 3. Integrity is more valuable than any material wealth. 4. Public humiliation can be avoided by living truthfully. And lastly, true respect comes from character, not display. We have come to the end of the story. If you love this video, please kindly share with your loved ones. Leave us a comment on your opinion and subscribe for another interesting video like this. Until I see you all on the next one. Bye for now.